Absolutely, we are. And thank you for raising that. As I tour our facilities and in the great state of Tennessee as well, our legacy facilities that ushered in the nuclear age, both in the weapon side, which sounds scary, but they've actually brought great peace and stability among the great nations of the world and launched nuclear energy, particularly at INL and the original pile in the Chicago Squash Court. The first ever sustained controlled nuclear reaction is the genesis of Idaho National Lab. Yep. So when I look at those aging facilities and how important they are to their future, I want nothing more than to accelerate the replacement of that infrastructure. Now, I have my own fights on budget, with the administration on how to do these things. So I get some wins, I get some losses. But can we deploy more capital to advance the infrastructure of our legacy labs faster? Absolutely, we can. Will it
America First Voice is back with another hard-hitting reaction. Today, we're reacting to this House Appropriations Committee hearing where Energy Secretary Wright sounds the alarm on unauthorized wireless power equipment from China threatening our critical infrastructure. Let me tell you, patriots, this is exactly why we needed a Trump administration that actually understands energy reality and national security. If you believe American energy dominance and protecting our grid from communist China should be top priorities, smash that like button right now and subscribe. Let's dive in. Representative Mike Simpson from Idaho asks Secretary Wright directly about reports of unauthorized wireless power transfer equipment showing up across the country. Wright doesn't mince words. He confirms the threat is real, notes that his department is actively working on it, and emphasizes the need for vigilance against foreign adversaries embedding technology that could disrupt or spy on our power systems. Here's my unfiltered take as a right-wing patriot and constitutional conservative.
The Interior Subcommittee of Appropriations and a former chair of this committee, and he represents the great Idaho Reservation, my friend and mentor, Mike Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, I appreciate you achieving your goal of last year of visiting all of the DOE labs throughout the country. And I wasn't going to say this out of respect for my chairman and also out of respect for my friend from the Hanford PNNL area, but you saved the best for last. It was
Representative Simpson said this at the lab when we were together, and believe me, they liked it.
And they brought a cake that said that. Anyway, as you know, the INL is doing amazing things, and the demonstration of microreactors experiment, or the dome test bed, is now open and operating. It presents some really exciting times for nuclear energy in the future for these microreactors and other reactors. And this is there's obviously a lot going on at the INL, and much of that work is relying on unique facilities and infrastructure that the INL has. However, given that the INL is 75 years old, a lot of that infrastructure is almost as old as the INL is. And I appreciate the fact that President Trump and you put in this budget a proposed increase for the INL infrastructure account, and if Congress can deliver additional funding specifically to address infrastructure recapitalization of the INL, is DOE aligned to make it a priority to address the aging infrastructure at the lab site?
Absolutely, we are. And thank you for raising that. As I tour our facilities and in the great state of Tennessee as well, our legacy facilities that ushered in the nuclear age, both in the weapon side, which sounds scary, but they've actually brought great peace and stability among the great nations of the world and launched nuclear energy, particularly at INL and the original pile in the Chicago Squash Court. The first ever sustained controlled nuclear reaction is the genesis of Idaho National Lab. Yep. So when I look at those aging facilities and how important they are to their future, I want nothing more than to accelerate the replacement of that infrastructure. Now, I have my own fights on budget, with the administration on how to do these things. So I get some wins, I get some losses. But can we deploy more capital to advance the infrastructure of our legacy labs faster? Absolutely, we can. Will it aid the mission to bring in this nuclear renaissance, to more rapidly modernize our weapons stockpile and all that? Absolutely it will.
I appreciate that. A couple other issues. This really isn't a question. It's just something I want to make you aware of, and I'm sure you are. The Idaho delegation sent a letter last week to you, and I didn't realize that this existed until about a year ago. As you know, the DOE site in Idaho, I think the same thing is true at Hanford, is not owned by all of it by the DOE. Much of it's that crosshatch of land, Department of Interior, BLM land, and DOE land. And this complicates the working with two different federal agencies that creates some problems. I wanted just to make you aware of that and hope that DOE and DOI and the delegation can work together to try to solve this problem, not only at Idaho, but also, if it's necessary, at Hanford, because DOE ought to own that land at the DOE site.
I agree entirely, and I am aware of the issue, and I will work with Secretary Burgum. Of course, it's a legacy of building the railroads across the United States and this cross-hatching of sections that were distributed. But yeah, I agree. It's a problem we should solve, and I don't see any reason we can't solve it. But I need to work with the Interior Department to do that.
I appreciate that. One more question. Recent incidents have raised concerns about the presence of unauthorized wireless signals and devices within sensitive and classified spaces across federal facilities, including those under the DOE. Those signals, whether from personal devices, rogue access points, or foreign surveillance tools, pose a risk to national security by creating vulnerabilities for data or unauthorized disclosure. As DOE oversees critical nuclear and energy infrastructure, ensuring strict control over wireless activities inside secure environments is essential. What specific steps is the Department of Energy currently taking to detect, prevent, and mitigate unauthorized wireless devices within classified or sensitive DOE facilities? And does the department maintain a comprehensive real-time capability to monitor and track unauthorized wireless devices and signals in secure spaces? And how are those incidents detected, analyzed, and reported to ensure accountability and continuous improvement?
Yeah, so look, again, you raise a huge question. The risk of cyber threats, the risk of devious behavior, even of drones over our sites is growing rapidly. We are aware of it. We have efforts to address it. Do we have a comprehensive plan that I can say is going to work rock solid? No, we don't yet. But that is absolutely a front and center topic for us. And I think we're going to see it across the government, just growing risks of cyber espionage, misbehavior, and we need to get serious, and we need to have a better system to deal with the evolving threats.
I've always been worried about a nuclear attack, but I will tell you a cyber attack is more scary than just about anything.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Chris Wright is 100% right to treat this as a serious national security issue. Communist China has been waging unrestricted warfare against us for years, stealing technology, flooding markets with cheap junk, and now potentially embedding hardware that could interfere with our electrical grid. We cannot allow adversarial nations to install mysterious wireless power equipment on American soil. This is insane. For years under weak leadership, we let China dominate solar panels, rare earth minerals, batteries, and critical supply chains. The result? Vulnerability. One coordinated attack, cyber, EMP, or physical, on our grid could cause blackouts across entire regions. Secretary Wright gets it. As a real energy expert and Trump appointee, he's focused on all of the above American energy production while securing our infrastructure from foreign sabotage. As a patriot, I'm thrilled to see this level of awareness. America must achieve true energy dominance, not just produce more oil, gas, coal, and nuclear, but protect every part of the system. Wireless power transfer tech from China could be used for legitimate purposes, but when it's unauthorized and proliferating unchecked, it's a massive red flag. We need immediate action, strict regulations, inspections, bans on suspect foreign equipment, and massive investment in domestic manufacturing of grid components. This fits perfectly into the broader America First agenda. President Trump delivered energy independence before. Now we're restoring it while closing loopholes that let adversaries infiltrate our critical infrastructure. No more relying on China for anything that powers our homes, hospitals, military bases, or data centers. Deeper opinion as a right-wing patriot, the left screams about climate while ignoring real threats like this. They want to shut down reliable American energy and make us dependent on solar panels made in China and wind turbines that kill birds and require massive rare earth minerals from hostile nations. Meanwhile, China builds coal plants at record pace and infiltrates our grid with sneaky tech. Chris Wright represents the adult in the room, pragmatic, pro-American, and focused on actual security and abundance. We need to accelerate domestic energy production drill plus nuclear renaissance. Harden the grid against cyber, EMP, and physical threats. Ban or heavily restrict high-risk Chinese technology in critical infrastructure. Bring manufacturing of transformers, conductors, and grid tech back to America. Stop the regulatory suicide that delays projects and raises costs for working families. The hearing shows the Trump team is awake to these threats. No more sleepwalking into vulnerability. Energy is national security. A strong, secure, abundant energy sector means lower prices, more jobs, stronger military, and a freer America. Final passionate message direct to camera. Patriots, this is what winning looks like. Identifying threats early and acting decisively. Support Secretary Chris Wright and the entire Trump energy team as they restore American energy dominance and protect our grid from foreign adversaries. If this hearing concerned you like it did me, comment below. How big of a threat do you think Chinese tech in our grid is? Should we ban all high-risk wireless power equipment from China? What's your take on securing our energy infrastructure? Smash like if you stand for American energy dominance and strong national security. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share with every patriot. We need secure borders, secure energy, secure grid, and an unapologetic America first agenda. Stay vigilant. Stay powered. God bless our energy workers. God bless Secretary Chris Wright. God bless President Trump. And God bless the United States of America, the greatest nation on earth.